It affects me in a sort of variety of ways, mainly psychologically at the moment, and partly health-wise. I seem to suffer with increasing numbers of migraine headaches and stress-related illness, if you like. But yes, psychologically, obviously living with the knowledge of having hepatitis C, it creates a great impact on my life and obviously my wife.
You're still at the earlier stages at the moment, and because of that, people may not think that you're that ill, but obviously you are, and there's a possibility that it will get worse.
Yes, I'm currently at stage 4 of 6 of liver fibrosis, which is the stage preceding cirrhosis. And there's no real prediction as to how, or long-term prognosis as to how that will manifest itself when I then develop cirrhosis. I don't know if I will then immediately become too ill to work, or whether it will be something that I can work with for a period of time. It's largely uncharted territory. What
are you entitled to at the moment in terms of compensation? What have you had?
I received in 2003 a payment under the Skipton Fund, stage 1 of £20,000, and that is basically all I'm entitled to. The review that happened earlier this year doesn't actually entitle me to anything further until I reach liver cirrhosis. There's no saying when that will necessarily be. That will then entitle me to a further payment, I think, of £50,000. But yes, at this moment in time, I don't get anything from this.
So what are you hoping that Edwina Hart will announce today?
We're hoping that she will announce parity with the English announcement at the very least, although that in essence doesn't affect anything more than 18% of those that have been contaminated with bad blood. 82% of people will remain unaffected by this announcement, even if we do get parity with the English.
And that's because the situation, even with the English system, means that you only get more compensation when you're much more sick.
Yeah. When, as I say, when I become diagnosed with liver cirrhosis, at that point I'll be entitled to the next payment. The review that happened earlier this year basically doubled the payment from £25,000 to £50,000 for those victims that have developed cirrhosis.
And that will also give some extra money for widows like your cousin's wife? Yes.
So, an extra £25,000 will then be available to them.
How important will that be for them?
I think of little importance. It doesn't seem to really scratch the surface of having lost a loved one, a payment of £25,000, or in any way make amends for the loss of earnings that will have been suffered because of the bereavement. £25,000 seems a little bit insulting.
Obviously, the system in Ireland is a lot better, and that's really what you'd like to see here in Wales, isn't it?
We would like to see some way made toward parity with the Irish scheme, which is rather more generous in its offering. I think payments of between £250,000 and £750,000 have been made, dependent on the circumstances of the sort of individual cases.
And what did the Archer report suggest?
The Archer report recommended parity with the Irish scheme, but the government seemed to be resistant to that at the moment.
You said to me earlier that this isn't really about getting a handout about compensation. It's just really about being able to live your life with security, isn't it?
Yeah. It's living with the knowledge that my children will be taken care of if I were to become ill and unable to work, and my children would be able to enjoy the quality of life they currently enjoy. That's purely it for me.
If this afternoon the announcements doesn't go as far as the situation in England, what will you do then?
I mean, the campaign is still ongoing anyway, so we're still campaigning as if the review never happened, really. The campaign will continue. If Wales fail to offer what the English have offered, then the campaign will probably be a little more fervent over this side of the bridge. But in terms of the announcement today, I feel that Edwina should hopefully announce parity, and then we'll see where we go from there.